going on? We're going to be making a video, first time doing a video like this where we talk all things crypto and Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. So got a few things that I want to talk about on this particular video. I know everybody's looking at price action right now. Bitcoin actually just wicked as I press the record button down below $90,000 to $89,000. And so that's going to be interesting to watch in real time. But let's go ahead and get over to some of the things that I wanted to share and talk about in this video. The first is I want to talk about Inauguration Day, because everybody keeps saying Inauguration Day is going to be this massive pump for Bitcoin. And the question that I keep asking is why? Why does it have to be that? Obviously, markets do react to news, but we've been seeing this news for, I don't know, 2 months now. Ever since Trump won the presidential election, we've been watching people talk about what it's going to do to the crypto markets. And so my understanding, or at least my perspective, is that all this talk about Inauguration Day on January 20th is kind of already priced in. It's not as though on Inauguration Day, Trump is going to do something within 2 hours that is something completely unforeseen by the markets. No, it's really just a marker, or I guess a marker on the journey of a pro Bitcoin and pro crypto president. And so it is an important date, but I'm having a hard time seeing from a fundamental level like why that's going to be so bullish for the markets, because we're already getting Trump. So it's just a formality at that point for the inauguration to happen and the transition of power. I at least that's my perspective, is I think a lot of this is priced in. So I'm wondering, let me know what you think about that. I know that everybody's excited about this Bitcoin National Reserve. They're looking at a strategic reserve. Everybody's thinking about the Crypto Council and Charles Hoskinson, Cardano, a few others, a few other key players being a part of that. David Sachs being one of those to lead it. I know there's a lot of excitement around that, but we already know that information. And so I'm wondering what makes January 20th different for what we're seeing. Now let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin price action and the markets, because I think that is something that we do need to discuss. Oh, we're looking at Dogecoin right now. That's fun. Let's go ahead and look at BTC, USD. Let's go over here to Coinbase. All right, so on the monthly, here's what I want you guys to see, is that last month we had this shooting star candle. This typically signals a reversal. It's a top indicator signaling a reversal pattern. Now it needs to be confirmed, but it looks like we're getting some of that confirmation here. So as you see, we have something that's similar to that right here, and we saw we trended downward here before going back up. And so this was back in November of 2021. We see whenever we see these kinds of candles, it's important to remember that the charts. This is a classic kind of bearish indicator right here. Like this should not be surprising that January is looking a little bit low. In fact, if we want to go over here and look at these Bitcoin returns, looking at just January, it's kind of all over the map, right? Like we've had a few green months, and this is looking at CoinGlass here. We've had a streak of red Januaries from 2015 to 2019. 2020, 2021, we saw bullish green months. 2022, we saw a bearish month, and then 23, 24 seemed to be green, and then 2025 right now, it has us green, but this obviously isn't updated for the current wick down that we just saw in the current price action. So as I'm looking at this chart, I never really expected Bitcoin to pump and see all-time highs in January. In fact, I kind of expected a pullback to confirm this candle. Now that doesn't mean that the whole market's over. In my view, it just meant that that's what the price action showed me. And so I was looking toward $85,000, $86,000, and I'm still kind of assuming that that's probably what we'll do. But it's just interesting because everybody is so excited about alt season, and I do want to talk about alt season, but before we get to alt season and a few things that I think are important to realize for altcoins and for the altcoin market in general, I think I have a different take on what alt season is and what that's going to look like this time around. I've been seeing this going around X. This Congress is moving closer to passing this bill to ban stock trading from stock trading from members of Congress. Um, and it's been around. This actually was introduced. This bill was introduced back in the middle of last year. So this has been out for a while. So it's interesting that the news is pushing it over the last month or so. But I have a what if theory here, and let me know what you think about this. Think about if stock trading is banned from members of Congress. The question becomes, do cryptocurrency and digital assets, are they a part of this category of stocks that are banned from being traded by members of Congress? And I think because of how liquid the cryptocurrency market is, how easy it is to buy, trade, and sell using even a DEX, or there's just like less clarity and less regulation, which the Trump administration is going to hopefully bring some needed clarity. But because of that, I wonder if some of the money from some of these congresspersons would flow into the digital asset space because of this ban, because cryptocurrency wouldn't be included in that. So that's just an interesting thought experiment that I have, is like, I wonder if that's something that would happen here. Obviously it's terrible if members of Congress are insider trading and using information that they're getting in private sessions to kind of make their financial moves and decisions. It's totally unethical, but we know that it's happening, and I just wonder if some of that capital would then begin to flow into the cryptocurrency market. So, okay, let's get into altcoins. So, this is maybe the fundamental part of the video that I wanted to talk about, which is the altcoin market. What are we seeing? And why haven't we seen an altcoin season materialize the way that we expected based on past patterns? And I want to propose that an alternative theory to what altcoins are going to do this season. And this is purely just my brain coming up with reasons why this situation is different than we've ever been in the past. So let me know what you think about this. But the first thing is that we have altcoins that have ETFs. So here's why this is such a big deal. With Ethereum having an ETF, with Litecoin, with Solana, with XRP, there's even news about a spot XRP ETF. We have institutional money flowing into the cryptocurrency market that is really shocking prices and shocking the market. And the inflows into these ETF products are not going to outflow into mid and small cap altcoins. All this money is going straight into these exchange traded products, and that money is not going to go into products that are not exchange traded. And so I think that's a huge part of this, is that we see all this new money flowing into crypto, and we're bullish on altcoins, but we don't realize that a majority of all this institutional influx is going to Bitcoin. It's going to Solana. It's going to Ethereum. The other thing that it's doing is not institutional money, but VC money is going into some specific projects. Well, what kinds of projects? You've got SUI, you've got Ondo, you've got real world asset products. Well, what's my main point is I think that this altcoin cycle could be different for three reasons. One, institutional money is flowing in, but it's not going to be matriculating down into mid-cap and small-cap altcoins this cycle. And the reason that it won't is because that money is, it's not possible for it to go down that way. Now, there might be traders, retailers, and others who maybe realize gains and flow that, kind of move that down into small-cap plays. But I think that there is an appetite for the larger cap projects and these exchange-traded products from traditional investors and markets, and we're not going to see that necessarily move into these smaller cap tokens. So that's thesis number one. Number two is I think we're seeing the, let's say, the preference for tokens that do something, tokens that are actually doing things. So like, let's check out right here. So we got all these tokens on top, right? But then you've got tokens like Hedera that they're actually doing some really cool stuff, interesting stuff with their tech. And people are looking for that. Chainlink has been looking really good. People have been they're in the news right now a lot. You've got let's see, let's look at some others. You've got Aptos, you've got Aave, you've got Render. Some of these projects, they're not just vaporware. They're not just leaning into the hype of, oh, let's talk about AI. Oh, let's use insert random buzzword. No, they're actually building strong tech. They've got something behind their projects. And I think we're seeing both from VCs and investors and like traditional market and people that have been seasoned crypto investors. Seasoned crypto investors are tired of speculating on, fart coin. And, you're always going to have that. You're always going to have these meme coins and those kinds of things. That's going to be a part of crypto. That's just, it is what it is. But I think you're seeing a lot of people with a preference toward projects that are going to actually provide utility and have a use case. But then that brings me to my third part of this narrative around altcoins is the first one being institutional money is not going to flow that way. The second is that we've got a preference for projects that actually have utility and that are actually doing something, solving real world problems. And then the third is that we actually have the development of a narrative around different tokens and projects that is fundamentally different than what we've seen in the past. So XRP is a great example. XRP is a project that, yes, you would assume that money would flow from Bitcoin into large cap altcoins, into mid cap and then small cap. But XRP is, it's got number 3 by market cap now. It's taken over the number 3 spot. But just look at this performance over the last 3 months. I mean, it's just been ramping up. And I think what's happening is projects like XRP, projects like companies like Ripple Labs, projects that are actually building things are building their own narrative around it. And people are investing in XRP not because not necessarily because they're trying to arbitrage between XRP and Bitcoin and trying to continue to stack Bitcoin, which is what I've done over the last few years. I've basically been, how do I might invest in an altcoin or might buy an altcoin, and then when it goes up, I'm actually trading that into Bitcoin because I'm actually trying to keep stacking Bitcoin. But I think what we're seeing is that the maturation of different altcoin narratives that kind of withstand they're kind of bigger than the altcoin market at large. So it used to be Bitcoin and then there's everything else. Then it was Bitcoin and Ethereum and there's everything else. And now it might be Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and Solana and Doge and then everything else. So I think you're starting to see these breakouts of altcoins on an individual basis with really strong narratives. So because of that, this idea here that a lot of people, shout out to Altcoin Daily for posting this, but we've seen this before. The path to alt season is the flow of money moves into Bitcoin, causes the price to surge. Then that money flows into Ethereum, struggles to keep up with Bitcoin, but then eventually Ethereum starts outperforming. And as Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, we hear talks of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin. That money begins to trickle down into large caps, and then people move that money from large caps into alt season, which is like mid cap, low cap, micro caps. This is what we experienced in previous cycles, but I just don't know that this is going to happen this time around, guys. Like I really think that we might be seeing the development and the maturation of the crypto ecosystem such that this is no longer an expectation. I think this was the easy way to do it in the last cycle, and I don't think with the maturation of the crypto ecosystem that we're going to get easy this time around. I think you're going to have to be choosy. I think you're going to have to be picky about what you want. It used to be you could throw some USDC at the wall and see what sticks, or some USDT, just throw it in there and see what it hits, and then it's probably going to go up. I don't know if we're going to see that this time. I think we might see some really strong individual tokens breaking out. And, obviously a rising tide raises all ships. So I think we will see projects grow. And I think we'll see the ecosystem grow. And I think we'll see anything that's even altcoins. I do think that they'll go up, but I don't think we're going to see this massive parabolic run and all these small micro caps this time around. That's just my theory. Now, would it be great to be wrong? It'd be great to be wrong. I'm positioned either way. So if you're like me and you're somebody that wants to DCA and capture small amounts of Bitcoin and tokens and projects you believe in over the course of time, you're in a good spot, because just pick things that have, that you fundamentally believe in, and watch how they go. So that's my thoughts for today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.